In a high-security lab, a researcher inputs a complex protein folding problem that has stumped human experts for months. The AI doesn't just guess, it pauses, calculates, and reasons through the molecular physics. This isn't just another chatbot update. This is the birth of what researchers are calling deep think mode, a fundamental shift in how artificial intelligence approaches the hard sciences. We're moving past the era of word prediction and into the era of genuine scientific discovery, and the results coming out of the latest peer-reviewed studies are honestly mind-blowing. The secret sauce behind this leap is the deep think architecture. Unlike standard models that rush to an answer, this system uses an internal chain of thought process to verify its own logic before speaking. Think of it as the difference between a snap judgment and a PhD student carefully working through a whiteboard of equations. It's slow, it's deliberate, and it's incredibly accurate. By allocating more compute power to the thinking phase rather than just the output phase, the model can navigate complex biological pathways that were previously invisible to machines. The real-world application? Cell-free protein synthesis. This is a cutting-edge field where we create proteins without using living cells, and it's notoriously difficult to model. Claude's latest iterations have shown a specialized ability to predict reaction yields and optimize the recipe for these proteins with a precision that rivals human experts. In peer-reviewed biological research, this model is identifying novel catalysts that could revolutionize how we manufacture medicine. It's not just helping scientists, it's acting as one. This performance has earned the model a new nickname in the industry, the scientific sovereign. It's a title that reflects its dominance in high-stakes, specialized fields. While other models are busy writing poetry or summarizing emails, this architecture is focused on the fundamental building blocks of life. It's a different kind of intelligence entirely. But this specialization isn't just a technical choice, it's a massive business strategy. And that strategy is currently being valued at hundreds of billions of dollars. To understand why investors are so excited, we have to look at the moat. In the tech world, a moat is a competitive advantage that's impossible for others to cross. By dominating the scientific sector, Anthropic is positioning itself as the indispensable partner for big pharma and biotech. That's a market that doesn't care about chat, it cares about results. But as these models get more powerful, the stakes for who controls them and who can afford to build them are reaching a boiling point. And that's where things get really interesting. The AI world is currently split into two camps. On one side, you have the quest for scale, more data, more parameters, more everything. This is the path GPT-5 is expected to follow. On the other side, you have the quest for reasoning. This isn't about knowing everything, it's about thinking through what you do know. This is where Claude's deep think lives. This divergence is creating a massive valuation gap. Investors are starting to realize that a model that can solve a new biological problem is worth far more than a model that can just talk about one. GPT-5 is rumored to be a general-purpose giant, aiming to be the ultimate personal assistant. It's the Swiss Army knife of AI, useful for everything but a master of none. Claude's deep think mode is more like a specialized surgical laser. It's designed to stay on a single problem for a long time, exploring every possible failure point before providing a solution. In testing, this System 2 approach allows the model to catch its own hallucinations. If a chemical reaction it proposes doesn't follow the laws of thermodynamics, the model discards it and starts over. This is why the scientific sovereign designation is so critical. In fields like drug discovery, a 1% error rate isn't just a mistake, it's a multi-million-dollar disaster. Anthropic has focused its research on constitutional AI, giving the model a set of internal rules to follow. This makes its reasoning not just deep, but predictable and safe. By combining this safety framework with high-level reasoning, they've created a tool that can be trusted with the most sensitive data in the world, and that trust is what's driving the valuation. But there's a catch. This kind of deep thinking is incredibly expensive. It requires massive amounts of compute time for every single query. While a standard chat response might cost a fraction of a cent, a deep think session on a biological problem could cost dollars. This creates a natural barrier to entry. Only the biggest firms with the most capital can afford to run these models at scale. This is leading to a consolidation of power that we've never seen before in technology. So we have the tech and we have the money, but there's one more piece to the puzzle, the rules of the game. And this is where Anthropic is making its most controversial moves. They aren't just building the future, they're trying to regulate it. And their recent $20 million donation is just the tip of the iceberg. To understand the real moat, we need to look at how the big three are working together to make sure no one else can catch up. It's a masterclass in corporate strategy. Last year, Anthropic made headlines not for a new model, but for a donation, $20 million to a group called Public First Action. On the surface, it's about AI safety, but in the world of high-stakes tech, safety is often synonymous with regulation, and regulation is the ultimate weapon for an incumbent company. By pushing for strict government oversight, the big three, Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google, can ensure that any new competitor has to jump through hoops they've already cleared. This is a classic business move known as regulatory capture. It's when an industry uses the government to protect its own interests under the guise of public good. Anthropic's argument is that AI is too dangerous to be left unregulated. They point to the very biological breakthroughs we discussed as proof that this tech needs a license to operate. If you need a $100 million safety audit just to release a model, only the giants survive. It's a brilliant way to pull up the ladder behind you. Critics argue this will stifle innovation. They say the next great AI breakthrough won't come from a giant lab, but from a garage, if the garage is allowed to exist. But Anthropic supporters say this is necessary. They argue that deep-think models are so powerful that a single mistake in a biological lab could have global consequences. It's a fascinating tension. Do we prioritize the speed of innovation or the safety of the results? Right now, the money is betting on safety. The result is the emergence of sovereign AI. These are models that aren't just tools, but core infrastructure for nations and industries. They are the new oil. Anthropic's $380 billion trajectory reflects this reality. They aren't just selling a subscription, they are selling the brain power that will run the 21st century's labs. As Claude continues to master cell-free protein synthesis and other hard sciences, it becomes less of a product and more of a national asset. We are entering a world where the most valuable resource isn't land or gold, but reasoning, the ability to think through the world's hardest problems at the speed of light. Whether it's through deep-think breakthroughs or strategic regulatory moats, the landscape of intelligence is being rewritten before our eyes. The only question left is, in a world of scientific sovereigns, where does that leave the rest of us? The answer might be the most fascinating part of all.